In the heart of New York City, where millions rush past one another without making eye contact, where ambition overshadows compassion and success often blinds the soul, there lived a man named Michael Reed, a self-made millionaire who had everything money could buy, yet felt emptier with every passing day. Every morning, Michael stepped out of his sleek black car, straightened his tailored suit, and walked toward the tall glass building that carried his name. And every morning, without fail, he passed by the same homeless man sitting quietly near the corner of the sidewalk. The man's clothes were worn, his hair gray and tangled, and yet his face carried a gentle warmth. His name was Eli Turner. He held a small cardboard sign that read, "You matter. Have a blessed day." Most New Yorkers walked past him without a glance. Michael, too, never acknowledged him. He was too busy building an empire, too consumed with meetings, deadlines, and the constant pressure of staying at the top. Yet every morning, Eli greeted him with the same soft voice. "Good morning, sir. Hope today is kind to you." Michael never responded. He didn't even slow down. To him, Eli was just another part of the background, a reminder of a life he feared, a fate he thought he had outrun. What Michael didn't know was that Eli hadn't always been homeless. Years ago, Eli had been a carpenter in Ohio. He had a little house, a quiet life, and a wife named Mary who was his whole world. But when Mary became seriously ill, their savings drained quickly. And though Eli worked as hard as he couldn't keep up with the rising medical bills. Insurance covered some, but not enough. He took extra jobs, worked nights, slept less, pushed harder, until his own health broke down. And when Mary passed away, Eli's heart shattered. He lost his home, then his job, then his sense of direction. But he didn't lose his kindness. Life might take everything, he always said, but it can't take who you are. So he moved to New York, not because he had a plan, but because he wanted to disappear into the crowd. Instead of begging, he chose to sit on that corner, greeting strangers with hope, sharing kindness with people who barely noticed him. It was his way of staying connected to humanity. One morning, everything changed, but not for Eli, for Michael. As he stepped into his office, he was immediately surrounded by frantic employees and ringing phones. Something was wrong, terribly wrong. Overnight, a critical software failure had compromised thousands of client accounts. Investors were furious, the media caught wind of the crisis, and within hours, Michael's company stock plummeted. Years of hard work crumbled in a single morning. He tried to fix things, tried to regain control, but the pressure was suffocating. By evening, after shouting at staff, arguing with partners, and facing the realization that he might lose everything he built, Michael walked out of the building defeated. He wandered through the streets like a ghost, eventually sinking onto a bench in Bryant Park. For the first time in years, he allowed himself to break. He lowered his head and cried, quietly, hopelessly, completely. As he sat there, a shadow approached. Michael looked up and saw Eli standing in front of him. But Eli didn't ask what was wrong. He didn't pry or judge. Instead, he reached into his worn coat and gently placed half of his sandwich beside Michael. "You look like you need this more than I do tonight," he said softly. Michael stared in disbelief. This man, the one he ignored every single day, was offering him food. Something stirred in Michael's heart, something he hadn't felt in a very long time. I don't need," he began, but Eli shook his head. "No shame in needing help," he said with a smile. "We all fall down sometimes." The warmth in Eli's eyes disarmed Michael completely. For the first time, Michael whispered, "Thank you." What began as a simple gesture turned into a long conversation. Sitting under the soft city lights, Michael listened as Eli shared his story. The love of his life, Mary, the sickness, the bills, the heartbreak.
the fall into homelessness. But what struck Michael most was Eli's lack of bitterness. He spoke with gentleness, with acceptance, with wisdom. "Life hit me hard," Eli said, "but I didn't want to hit back with anger. I chose kindness. It's the only thing that helped me heal." Michael sat silently, realizing how twisted his own priorities had become. He had chased money so aggressively that he'd lost the very essence of life. The next morning, something incredible happened. Michael came early. He approached Eli with breakfast and 2 hot coffees. Eli laughed, surprised. "Well now, look who's smiling today," he said. From that day on, they spoke every morning. Michael began opening up about his failing company, his loneliness, his painful divorce, the stress that swallowed him whole. And Eli listened, truly listened. Over time, Michael learned more from this homeless man than he had from any business coach or millionaire mentor. Eli taught him how to breathe, how to slow down, how to appreciate the small things, how to forgive himself, how to restore his spirit. One morning, after weeks of their growing friendship, Michael looked at Eli and asked, "Eli, would you like a job?" Eli chuckled. "A job? What could an old carpenter like me possibly do in a tech company?" Michael smiled. "You're not a carpenter. You're a teacher, a mentor. You're the heart most workplaces are missing."
Michael brought Elisha into the company as a workplace wellness advisor, a title he crafted just for him. Elisha's job wasn't technical, it was emotional. He greeted employees, encouraged them during stressful days, listened when they felt unheard, reminded them that they mattered. And something extraordinary happened. The work environment transformed. Stress levels dropped. People collaborated better. Creativity soared. Projects improved. And slowly, clients returned. Investors softened, and the company began to recover. What nobody realized at first was that Elisha wasn't just helping people feel better, he was rebuilding the company from the inside out. He gave people hope. And hope fueled productivity, teamwork, and loyalty. Michael watched in awe as the man he once ignored became the very soul of the company. A year later, at the company's anniversary event, Michael took the stage. With hundreds of employees watching, he invited Elisha to join him. The crowd applauded loudly. They all loved Elisha. Michael raised the microphone and said, "Last year, I lost everything. Not just money, but direction, peace, and purpose. And then, someone with nothing gave me something priceless. He gave me wisdom, kindness, humanity. This man changed my life." The room went silent. Michael continued, "Elisha Turner reminded me of what truly matters. Not wealth, not reputation, but heart." He handed Elisha a plaque that read, "The heart of this company." Along with it came a full-time position, a furnished apartment, complete health care, and financial stability. But more importantly, a family of people who valued him. Tears ran down Elisha's face. He never expected anything from anyone, and yet he had changed everything. As the crowd applauded, Michael placed a hand on Elisha's shoulder and whispered, "Thank you for saving me." Elisha smiled through tears. "You saved yourself, son. I just reminded you who you were." And so, in the busiest city in America, where strangers often pass each other without a word, a homeless man with nothing became the lifeline for a millionaire who had lost everything. Their unlikely friendship proved one timeless truth. Sometimes, the person we ignore every day is the one who carries the wisdom we desperately need. Sometimes the richest man in the room is the one with empty pockets. And sometimes, a simple act of kindness can rewrite 2 lives forever. Because kindness costs nothing, but it changes everything.